I am going to share in this video the very to the point, significant and drastic 5 English fluency hacks which will improve your fluency level to the highest one. So before any due, let's jump into the video. Number 1 point, the number 1 English fluency hack is that let your vocabulary improve organically. Now you are thinking what ma'am has said. I mean that let your vocabulary come to you. By this I mean that I have observed many persons in my surrounding who have literally jumped into the dictionary. They mug up their brain with lot of new words. They maintain a huge journal of new words. And it seems that their brain has become a thesaurus, a play store, a treasure house of so many words, amalgamation of different words. And it seems that their brain is not brain, but it's a dictionary of English language. But according to me, this is very impractical and immature practice and approach to learn a new language. If you really want to have good command on English language, the very first point is that let your vocabulary come to you rather than reaching out to it. Yes, by this I mean that if you come across a new word which is adorable for you, which is very nice to you, and you want to inculcate that word in your dictionary and you want to utilize that word in your practical language, my first suggestion is that do a research on that word. Find out the meaning of that word and use that word in a couple of times, in a couple of sentences, so that that word stays with you and becomes a part of your language. This is I meant by learn and let your vocabulary improve organically. And this is very true. And this is the first hack, English fluency hack. Now I am going to discuss the second English fluency hack. I am not going to say tip because hack, what is hack? Hack drastically changes your scenario. Now, before going to discuss the second English fluency hack, we should discuss the scenario. That something insulting, something disgraceful or humiliating happens to you, happens to me, and that humiliation or that disgraceful situation stays with you. You are stuck in that situation and you are unable to do anything about that situation. What will you do? Same is the case with your learning English language. Now, for example, if you are humiliated, if you are insulted and disgraced by the person who has good command over English. Now this situation happens with you. Just imagine in your thought that you are insulted and humiliated by a person who has good command over English. Just imagine the whole picture in front of you. Now, what will you do? All of a sudden, all your emotions, all your motivation, all your devotion, all your determination appears. And you say, if she or he has a good command of English, why I can't speak English? This is now. I am going to learn English. I am going to be fluent in English. I will do this. I will do that. And you put your effort. And then after 2 to 3 days, it is lost. It is gone. And again, something insulting happens to you. Again, that motivation, again, that enthusiasm and zeal and zest comes back to you. And you put your effort for a couple of days. Then again dies down. Your motivation dies down. Your emotion, your determination disappears. And now I want to say that I don't want to happen that thing with you, dear audience. I want that you should be committed to learning English language. If you are really want to learn English language, if you really want to have a good command over English, if you really want to have a fluency in English language, my hack, English fluency hack is that you should be committed to learning English. You should be devoted to learning English. You should be stick to your English learning practice. And remember one thing, learning doesn't happen on breaks. Because if you learn on breaks with gaps, everything is useless. It is not fruitful. Remember this thing in your. If you want to learn a new thing, if you want to learn English language, you have to be consistent. You have to be persistent. You have to be continuous in your struggle so that you can achieve the fruitful results. And learn this fact and remember and keep this thing in your mind that learning doesn't happen overnight. It requires your continuous effort. It requires your continuous struggle. And you have to be determined, you have to be committed, you have to be stick to your learning English. I want the commitment which you have with your relations. That kind of commitment is necessary for learning English language. Yes, dear audience, this is the second English fluency hack. And let me know in the comment section the commitment which you have with your relations. Is it required for learning English language? Because commitment, if you are committed, if you are devoted to learning English language, only then you will be able to learn anything new. And for example, if you take classes of guitar or any other thing, if you take classes but you go for some days and then have a gap, then have a break, and you don't go, and what will be the result? Will your guitar practice will be perfect? Do you have a full command over guitar? No, you will not have a full command over guitar or any other thing. The same thing happens with English language. If you learn English language on breaks, if you learn English language on gaps, you are not going to learn it. Because it's a process. It's not a course that you have completed for 2 to 3 months and everything is observed in your mind and you are suddenly speak English language fluently. No, doesn't happen. Courses are for training, but after any course, whether it is physical, whether it is online course, you should have to keep on practicing. Only then you can be fluent in English language. The third English fluency hack, which is very common but very severe problem, which I want to discuss it in the video, is that think in English. How to think in English. This is the common but very severe problem in our society and which is faced by every English learner. That we try to think in our mother tongue, then we translate it into English and then we speak out. But our response, and this happens in a fraction of moments. You are communicating, for example, you are communicating with one person, you are having a conversation, very important conversation or a meeting in your office. Just imagine that. You have a meeting, all members are sitting around and you have to deliver your thoughts. Others are asking questions from you and you have to answer those questions. Just remember, you are standing there, all are asking questions from you and you have to answer in English. But here is the problem. You are thinking in your mother tongue and then you are translating into English and out of that you are speaking. Too much, dear audience, for the human brain, because it requires only a fraction of movement to speak out for a competitive conversation, for a good conversation, Because if you are just involved in your thinking process in your mother tongue and then you are translating it in the English, the other person will not wait. Remember that. And the essence of conversation will die down. Everyone will lose interest and your presentation will have no results. Dear audience, I am focusing on this point that if you want to have a confident conversation with fruitful results, you should have to think in English rather than translating in English. Two approaches. The two approaches I am discussing here. Here, one, you have to think in English, and here you are just translating. And we are required to think in English, not to translate in English. And how can we do that? Here is my hack start. English fluency hack start. And here is the point that you should have to consciously think in English. Consciously think in English. If you want to eat food, if you want to study English novel or English book or English literature, instead of translating in English, you consciously have to think in English that I want to study English literature. I want to study English novel. And dear audience, initially it takes your conscious effort, but gradually it becomes a part of your subconscious, and you will be surprised and you will be wondered and you will be amazed to see that how things are happening with you automatically, because you have done your practice and now the results are appearing before you in the form of structuring your sentences, in the form of utterances of different sentences, the powerful expression, the powerful gestures, the body language is perfect, your language is perfect, your fluency is perfect, your speed is perfect, and you are well on time. Just imagine this scene, that you are well on time, you have answered at an appropriate situation, and you are confident enough, your body language has spotted you, your facial expressions, your eye contact has spotted you, and the other person who is just translating in, and he is not observing his body language, he is not observing his facial expressions, he is not only concerned with the members of the team, he is not concerned with the meeting, he is just translating. What is the difference between two persons? What would you require? How do you answer it? Answer me in the comment section that this kind of person have much more advantage, or this kind of person had much more advantage who is busy in just translating in English. My fourth English fluency hack, which will build your fluency level to a highest level, is that build English moments. I am not saying create English moments. No, build English moments, because you have to build in English moments. Initially, you can do and you can build English moments by talking to yourself. I am not saying talk in complicated and difficult words. No, you have to talk to yourself. You have to talk to yourself about the common things and your expressions. How do you feel that thing? For example, if you want to communicate and if you want to talk about the chair, what are your thoughts about the chair? What is the construction of the chair? What is the symbolic significance of the chair? Chair stands for authority. Chair stands for power. But physically it has 4 legs. It is only made of wood or plastic. Now you can translate and you can think in English consciously by talking to a chair, about the chair, about weather, about anything, but you have to do it. Build English moments and fix time, 10 to 12 minutes daily, and then increase the time. And this is my suggestion, that make English language a part and parcel of your life. And you can build English moments by listening. When you want to listen English movie, listen English music, listen a podcast. When you want to read a English writing. When you want to write it down in English. And in this way, you can build English moments. And when you build English moments, English will stay with you. English will be a fluency for you. And now I am going to discuss the 5th English fluency hack. And that is, what is that? Guess. No. Read, write, listen and speak. All 4 are important. But because reading enhances our sentence structure, we develop our vocabulary, we develop our expressions through reading. We become mature in that language through reading. Reading is important. Listening is also important because our pronunciation becomes fabulous by just listening. Writing is important because it makes us revise the things which we have read or listened anywhere. Now, but out of 4, speaking is most important, because you have read a lot, you have listened a lot, but until and unless you speak out through your mouth, you train your mind to organize the word, you train your mouth to speak out the word, everything is meaningless. So these are the 5 fluency hacks. And now you have to, if you like the video, kindly share and subscribe it so that others can take benefit from it, and comment me in the comment section how do you find these English fluency hacks. Stay till the next video. Stay happy, stay blessed. Have a nice day.